Robert Earl Hughes was the heaviest person during his lifetime, his peak weight being 486 kilograms. But despite his massive size, he was not bedbound and could walk unassisted, and still remains till this day the heaviest person to be able to walk without needing help. He also holds the record for the largest chest to have ever been measured, at 315 centimeters. An interesting fact about him is that he worked as an entertainer, meaning he sold photos of himself and also appeared in numerous carnivals and fairs to make money for himself and his family. He sadly died at the young age of 32 whilst traveling in Indiana, his doctors believing that he was suffering from measles and also later on developed uremia. This story does have a happy ending, I guess, because around 2,000 people attended his funeral near his hometown of Fishhook. Madeline was an employee at the Hilltop Research Laboratories in Cincinnati, Ohio, which is a testing lab for products made by Dr. Scholl, a footwear and orthopedic foot care brand. In her 15 years of working there, she smelled around 5,600 feet and an indeterminate amount of armpits. And although, yes, pretty disgusting, testing lifestyle products on humans isn't really that uncommon, so I guess in her field of expertise, sniffing feet and armpits was just a part of the testing phase and just a part of everyday life. And I guess for someone with a foot fetish, this wouldn't be so bad. And since foot fetishes are some of the most common, there is bound to be someone that'll break this record. Nasty ass mofo. This one is just a what the fuck kind of record. This woman reportedly had sexual intercourse with 919 men in just 7.5 hours. She went back to back to back to back to back, and the sessions were only around 45 seconds each. You know what? I honestly feel kind of bad for the last guy. I mean, that must have been like throwing a hot dog down an alleyway. Shit. Now, this record isn't 100% confirmed, so the number could be lower. The funny thing is that Lisa stated that she needed a week to recover from this, so this wasn't just a destruction of the cat emoji, but a complete fucking obliteration. But hey, at least she had some good Italian food. Macy Curran is a Texas girl who holds the record for the world's longest legs. Her right leg measures at around 135 centimeters, whilst her left one measures at around 134. The length of her legs was actually verified in 2020. Now, I don't know why, but when I first learned about this record, all I could think of was the fucking Family Guy cutaway gag about the legs go all the way up Griffin.
Hey, baby, do those legs go all the way up?
Why, yes, they do.
Ah! Oh my God, you're a monster!
Come back! My legs are shaved like a little girl!
Robert Wadlow is probably one of the most recognizable record holders in history, and for obvious reasons. He is the tallest person to have ever been measured, standing at a whopping 8 feet and 11 inches tall. He also holds other records, such as being the tallest teenager ever, since at the age of 17 he was already 8 feet and half of an inch tall. He also has the largest feet ever recorded, having a 47 centimeter long foot, which is the equivalent to the European size 75. Robert also holds the record for the largest hands ever, measuring at around 32 centimeters from the wrist to the tip of his middle finger. The most remarkable thing is that he was only 22 when he died, and even by the time of his death, there was absolutely zero indication that his growth had ended. The cause of his death was actually a septic blister on his right ankle that was caused by a brace which had been poorly fitted on only a week earlier. Charles Osborne was just an everyday man working on a farm in Nebraska when in 1922, after lifting up a 350-pound hog and then falling to the ground, got hiccups that didn't go away for nearly 7 decades. From 1922 till February of 1990, he hiccuped anywhere from 20 to 40 times per minute. The cumulative amount of these hiccups is said to be around 430 million. Holy shit. Despite having these never-ending hiccups, Osborne actually lived a pretty normal and fruitful life, having 2 wives and also fathering 8 children. When he was younger, he would travel around the world in hopes to finding a cure, but nothing seemed to help. And eventually, due to the traveling costs and the inability of doctors to find a cure, he just gave up trying. There was also a ton of people that wrote letters to him, and there was also a ton of people that sent their own quote-unquote cures, but that obviously did not help, and Osborne was stuck with his condition. That was until February of 1990, when his constant hiccups just disappeared, and thus ending the 68-year-old condition. He lived happily for another year before dying in 1991, aged 98. This one is truly something else. On August the 15th, 2003, Ron was standing on a ladder drilling into a surface overhead when the ladder suddenly gave way. He dropped the drill and then fell to the floor, landing face first onto the bit. He landed on the still spinning drill bit that was 18 inches in length. The drill bit was forced through his right eye and then escaped through his skull just above his right ear. Luckily, the drill didn't penetrate the brain, but missed it just slightly. So other than needing to wear a glass eye, he recovered fully. So he essentially holds the record for surviving a near-fatal accident. And this picture is just wild.